What's up? This is Mac.
And I'm Jake.
And you're listening to GLEE Radio,
where we put the pop in your culture.
Yo, what up, guys? I'm Mac, alongside my boy Jake, and you're listening to KingMacRadio.com,
where we put the pop in your culture. Right now we have on the line Nellie from the GLEE Project Season 2. Hey, Nellie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Alright, let's jump right into this. A lot of people notice how many times you and Blake were paired up with each other during the music videos. You guys definitely had a lot of chemistry going on between you two. Was there ever anything brewing between you guys behind the scenes?
No, he's just my friend. People are probably going to be sad to hear me say that. But, no, definitely we got paired up the first time for the homework assignment, which was of our own doing, and then I think the mentors just became obsessed with pairing us together, apparently. But I was happy with it. Like, when we got to do our duet, I couldn't have been happier with, my partner. He's an amazing actor to work with, and he makes me really comfortable, and it was really great to work with him and keep working with him. But it was pretty funny, and the reaction that we've been getting as like a duo has been pretty entertaining.
What has been the best compliment you've received from a fan so far from being on the show?
I think my favorite fan reaction, it's been great because it's been pretty much across the board from most of my fans saying that, like, the reason I like Nellie is because she stays true to herself and because, like, we can relate to her. Because it was something going in that I was worried about. I was like, can I relate to everyone? Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to, like, do my own thing. And, it came across as real and relatable, which is perfect because, I wasn't... That's what I would have hoped for, but I wasn't trying to, like, play up any certain thing. So it's amazing that just me as myself on the show has been... has struck a chord with people.
Now, it was always brought up how insecure you were on the show. But I gotta say, in that milkshake video, you definitely brought it. How was it filming that?
Well, I mean, it was entertaining, I guess. Okay, well, when we got our, outfits, that was when I was like, what's happening in my life right now? Because I look around and, all the other girls are wearing, jeans and t-shirts, and I'm like, nothing. And I was like, what's going on? But basically you can't be awkward in that outfit or you just are going to go home, which I was when that week started, I was like, I'm screwed. I'm going home. Like, this is going to be awful. When I heard the song and got my line, I, was literally outside, crying because I was like, I'm going home. And I was, so depressed. And then I was just like, okay, screw this. I'm going to just, do really well and, pretend that I'm someone else.
So how exactly did you make it on the show?
I auditioned online back in October, I think, or November, and I didn't really tell anyone because I was embarrassed that I tried out, and I didn't think it was gonna be seen, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such a dork for trying out for the show, even though I'm secretly a huge fan. So my parents didn't even know that I had auditioned until I made it to callbacks, and then getting to do that was just an absolute blast, and I was like, gosh. It was all so surreal up until the point where they're like, all right, you're on the show, and then I'm like, what? Really?
Nellie, if you made it on GLEE, how would you envision your character? Would your character be as insecure as they portrayed you on the show, or would it be totally different?
It's funny because that was, I think, part of my problem on the show was I really was so insecure that I didn't see myself on GLEE. I honestly had no idea why I was there. I was like, I just feel really lucky to be here. I don't really get it because everyone else has, a very specific story. But, yeah, so now that I am off the show and I'm seeing everyone's reactions and, the fans and what they relate to, I would love to play that, shy girl that really comes out of her shell. And it's funny because, in the show, I was one, how do I explain this in a way that makes sense? I was a lot more shy on the show, I think, than I am in real life. And, before, I was like, I think it'd be fun to play, a really sarcastic, whatever character. But now that I see kind of what I represent, I would love to bring that to light.
What has been your favorite part of the GLEE Project?
It's unfortunate because there's so much that, we don't get to share with the rest of the world. And I think just getting to know and becoming such close friends with the cast was like one of my favorite parts of the show. But show specific, the music videos were definitely my favorite.
All right, we got a lot of callers on the line, so let's take one. Hey, you're on the air with Nellie from the GLEE Project Season 2.
What was the craziest thing that happened at the house on the GLEE Project?
Well, I listened to Eileen's interview, and I'd probably have to just steal her answer and say that Charlie and the boys messing around.
Whoa, 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 whoa. The boys were messing around? Tell us about it, girl.
No, what? You just took it to a whole other place. No, you guys were there for the story.
I think she's talking about the story Eileen told us with the boys and the towels. You remember?
Oh, okay, I get
Yeah.
it. Okay, let's take another caller. Hello, you're on the air with Nellie from the GLEE Project.
So basically my question is, was there any people like on the set, or you in particular, that had like a rival that didn't like really like each other?
You know, on it, like, and this is, people are probably gonna be like, she's totally being politically correct, but we really did all get along surprisingly well. The fact that we're living together 24/7, you would think that there would be a lot more animosity than there was, but things were a lot smoother than I was anticipating, because I was like, it's a competition, everyone's gonna be really scary, but everyone, you know, I think we walked in kind of on the same playing level or whatever, and with really common, you know, things in mind, because we all love music and blah, 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 blah. I think, you know, Eileen and Lily had their little tiffs, but like they've already talked about, like they get along so well and they're best friends. They're just both the kind of bold people that would talk crap about each other.
Okay, well, Nellie, can you be honest? Was Mario really as annoying as he came off on the show?
I mean, we were also excited to see him there initially, and you see that on the show, but I think his biggest thing was he just didn't know when to stop talking.
Lala Laura 369 from Twitter wants to know, who was the biggest competition in your eyes?
When I first got there, and for the first few weeks, I definitely considered Eileen my biggest competition. You know, it wasn't, but at the same time, it wasn't something that was in the forefront of my mind. Like, I have to beat Eileen. Our voices, we do similar things stylistically, and like she's basically like, her character is kind of the opposite of mine. So it's like, whatever direction they're deciding to go in, like it's one or the other. So yeah, I definitely guess that would be my answer, was Eileen.
Okay, let's take a Twitter question from Brandon Ramsey. He wants to know, if you were able to duet with anyone from the GLEE Project from season 1 or 2, who would it be?
From season 1, it would be Cameron, and from season 2, it would be Michael.
Was there a point on the show when you were ever just starstruck?
Yeah, Leah Michelle was definitely ridiculous, and to start the season with that, it kind of like put the bar so high up that for the rest of the season, I think we're all just like, well, we're going to meet someone really, really famous today, so that's exciting. But when Leah Michelle walked in, I think everyone just about like fell out of their chair. It was just, it's very surreal to see these people who are like such big figures on this show that you've been a fan of, and such big figures in other aspects of, you know, the media. So definitely, especially that first week, I was definitely very starstruck.
I was wondering, every time I see you guys perform your homework assignment on TV, it comes across like you guys rehearse for a few seconds, and then you guys end up pulling off this huge upscale performance. Do you guys get any help from anybody outside the show, or how do you guys pull that off?
Oh, it's not 2 seconds, trust me. We spend so much time on those. Those were the most, in my opinion, honestly, those gave me more of a headache than last year's performances. Because we have so many kids in that group who, you know, come from choir backgrounds and come from dance backgrounds and like come from leadership backgrounds, and everyone has such big ideas for these assignments. And every time I'm sitting there like, how are we going to pull this off? And we would practice all night. Like, we didn't get help. Someone would like okay it and be like, sweet, that looks good, that's it. We did those all by ourselves, and we spent so much time, and they stressed me the heck out.
A fan from our KeyMacRadio.com forum wants to know if that when you guys perform your Last Chance performance, do you guys re-record those performances? Because they sound really nice on TV.
No, it's definitely live. They go in and mix it and make it sound pretty, but it's definitely, you guys are just trying to get all these like dirty little details, aren't you?
Well, that's what we do at KingMacRadio.com, girl.
I mean, we've got Abraham's and Michael's performances to look out and say that that's not necessarily true.
Alright, let's take one last caller.
Yeah. First of all, I just wanted to let you know that you're essentially my role model, and I admire you so much. Anyway, heard that you used to do theater, and I was wondering what shows you've been in before.
Well, let me just try and spit some out. I did Tiny Tim in the musical version of Five Ghosts, or musical version of A Christmas Carol. I was Flying Monkey and the lead Munchkin in the Wizard of Oz, couldn't think of the name. I was Einstein in Arsenic and Old Lace. I was Lorraine in The Man Who Came to Dinner. I was Blousy Brown in Bugsy Malone. And those. Oh, and my first role, I was Peter Rabbit in Kindergarten.
Now, I know the whole sexuality thing was hard for you, Nellie, but since the show's been over, have you been getting a lot of attention from guys?
No. I am the same person. But, you know, I think the thing I've gained the most is definitely confidence. And I wish that the exit interview was like 16 times as long, because I could go on and on about, you know, all that I gained from the show. But no, I mean, no boys. Sorry.
I heard you auditioned for the X Factor. How was that?
It was fun. I got to be on TV for like 2 half-second clips, and I got to meet Simon Cowell, and he told me that I was a rebel, and then he was the only one that said yes, and everyone else apparently hated me.
Paula and Nicole were idiots for not saying yes to you. No wonder why they were fired.
This is Nellie from the GLEE Project 2, and you are listening to King Mac Radio.